someone should be, strict enough to knock some sense into his head and tell him the importance of his role in the team. Because
the commentators say it needs to be stopped, which is the Bale swapping.
He'll hang his boots after the Champions Trophy.
View Webster in place of Mitchell Marsh is your only change for Australia. No other changes.
I'll add someone like Shuman Gill. It was unfortunate to miss out at MCG. I think for either Washi.
Welcome back as the calendar turns, wishing you all a happy new year. But the cricket fever doesn't stop. Welcome to the fifth and final test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, famously known as the Pink Test or the New Year's Test. And at the iconic Sydney Cricket Ground, I have Rohan, Gurpalji and Orko in the show. Welcome to the show, all three of you. Starting with Rohan, we discussed in every single preview of those 4 test matches, and we said, hopefully in the next test match, we will start with an introduction of a positive one. It did not turn out once again. Your thoughts on the overall performance, not any individual performance or any individual test series. I'll not more focus on the MCG one more. I'll focus on all 4 of them. And overall, how has India's performance been? Has it been a collective group or just 2-3 big names? Couple of youngsters, I must say.
I think a combination of all those things which you're saying, Pritham. As a group, maybe we started out well at Perth when nobody really gave us a chance, but we didn't capitalize on that. Australia was on the back foot. So many ex-players and their media was behind them, but we kind of gave them that opportunity to come back. Maybe because of certain players' accommodation had to be done in, and that kind of costed us. So since then, I think it's gone a bit downhill. We're not finding ways to get our mistakes rectified. It's just compounding after one after the other, and certain decisions with the team selections, drop catches, and certain decisions which are going other way.
Can I add a little bit of field setup as well?
That's what captaincy is. The primary thing here is what I think is affecting everything here. So until all these things within the mind also get cleared up, it's difficult for us to come back. Yes, as Indian fans, we always hope, as you say, beginning of a game, something will change and let's start afresh. But as the game progresses, the same thing that's repeating. Maybe the personnel are different, or the opponents' batters who are scoring will be different. But our players are doing the same mistakes is what I feel, until and unless something within themselves starts realizing what to do or what not to at times. I think it'll be the same story. And as Indian fans, we hope it's not, since you said it's a new year, but the graph says something otherwise.
Absolutely. The graph says something otherwise. We hope we turn it out. That's the hope that is always there on the cards. But Gurpalji, talking about the team combination, like Rohan said, talking about the team atmosphere inside the dressing room, we cannot say anything. We don't know anything. We can assume thoughts. And about all the reports we are seeing on X especially, thoughts on the talks going around on head coach Gautam Gambhir showing his frustration on few of the teammates, not named any names, but we're hearing these stuffs. And I think it has not been a good 6 months for the new head coach, because the time he has stepped into the team as a head coach, all the records have been broken into the negative side. So your thoughts on the new head coach Gautam Gambhir since the time he's taken over a champion side of Kolkata Knight Riders, an IPL winning head coach coming into the national one and not performing at his best?
So I guess we are into the transition phase that we have to accept, and we were coming off from a high of T20 World Cup, and same happened in 2011 as well when we won the 2011 World Cup. Then there was the team saw a bit of slump because of some again that was also a kind of transition phase. We started BGT as a Border Gavaskar Trophy. Then we heard it is Travis Head versus Bumrah. In between Travis Head versus Bumrah, the Labuschagne and Smith grinded their way back to their form. The mind read the word grind their way, where our batsmen didn't show any application, didn't show any fight, didn't show the grinding thing. The basic technique, the basic style of Test cricket is missing in our batsmen, the senior batsmen especially, like I will say Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. KL Rahul started beautifully, but again due to messing up his batting position has caused his downfall as well. Yashasvi Jaswal is the only batsman who's looking good to score some runs.
And also spend time at the middle. I think this is something I need to look into. Yes, Pali.
So Harshit Rana was a surprise for Australian team in the Perth Test match, in which we won. And rest of the bowling, Australia knows. I guess the luck of Akashdeep is also hampering us very much, because if Akashdeep luck would have been good, so Australia would have not scored so many runs, and that this would have been a tightest Test match. I won't say India would have won it, or ideally would have loved to India won this Test match, but it's all our fault. We could have batted 90 overs. We could have not thrown our wickets away. We could have grinded out more. The fight was missing from the top order. The fight was missing from the lower order. two batsmen cannot make you save test match. Every day is not Hanuma Vihari or a Ashwin kind of thing which they will save. For that also they played all the whole day. They didn't gifted their wickets away. That's the thing. If
100%.
you give the wickets
And
away, and more hunger from Aussies to win. I've
absolutely,
seen more
that
hunger
is
in
that is
Aussies to win.
something I will 100% agree with you. You said about Hanuma Vihari and Ravichandran Ashwin. I'll carry on from this point as well, Orko, to you. When he said about Hanuma Vihari and Ravichandran Ashwin, we had a similar situation. We batted out the entire afternoon session on day 5 without losing a single wicket. With Rishabh Pant and Yashasvi Jaiswal, I can also take that term from Paji and say they were grinding at the middle and not losing their wickets, not playing balls outside the off stump until and it's within the stumps, not taking risky singles, etc., etc. But now the thing is, talks going on around the two horrendous shots he has played in both the innings, Rishabh Pant. And I think his wicket in the second innings especially has turned the complexion of the game and potentially series as well. So should he be dropped is what I'm saying. I'm using a very bold term. Should he be dropped to ensure that he doesn't take his place for granted?
Well, I don't really believe that he should be dropped because, of course, he has a number of good performances to back him up, especially overseas. But yes, someone should be, strict enough to knock some sense into his head and tell him the importance of his role in the team because he plays a very crucial role. He's like the one who enforces in the middle order, and now you just can't call him that young, flamboyant player. He's someone who is pretty experienced. He's been in the international circuit for like 5 to 6
I'm sorry to
years.
interrupt,
So
but
you
just like
just
you explained, I'm sorry to interrupt, Orko. Is Sunny Gavaskar's 3 words that he mentioned continuously, is that the perfect description of Rishabh Pant at the moment?
harsh, but definitely true because I think you should not expect stupidity from a player of such stature and now experience to perform like this in a big stage because you do know that you're a senior player and I think you should not take your place or your wicket for granted, especially when the series or the WTC trophy is on the line or qualification for the final is on the line. So I think it's very dismal, it's unexpected, and you expect players to grow with time in terms of maturity and knowing their value, but you just can't always defend a player that's the way he plays. He's always flamboyant. He's a risk taker. You certainly can't always justify or sugarcoat things to defend him. So I think he needs to learn from it and adapt his game to that next level.
Absolutely, playing to the game situation is what is more important, according to me. You have your natural game. Nobody has a problem when gets going. It's good. But in the first innings, we saw 330 odd runs. India were trailing, Paji. At that time, he played that shot once. He got hit on the mid drift. The very next delivery, I think Sunny Gavaskar, I add one more point. He added saying that I will show the bowler I am the boss, is what Rishabh Pant absolutely thought about it. And he tried it again, and the field was absolutely set. We've seen this time and time again from captains like Pat Cummins, when he played New Zealand captains from Kane Williamson. They have these fly slip kind of a players always because you anticipate these shots. And they teased him so much. Boland came round the wicket, Pant fell for it. Similarly, in the second innings, they used Travis Head for 2 reasons. One, Pat Cummins accepted. You need to be that brave enough to accept that I bowled Travis Head because of the slower rate I was bowling for. But then also I thought, what if he gets me a wicket if they do? And they had 3 deep fielders on the leg side, and Pant fell for it because it was a short ball. So your thoughts as well. You have been supporter of this team. You have seen Rishabh Pant leading this side for 2+ years. He was not like this before the accident, but he has turned out back, had a wonderful, another dream IPL. His injury faking changed the complexion of the final and then got us the trophy. But if that is so, I'll repeat again, just like Orko said, do not take your spot for granted.
I agree, Preetham, what you are saying at the moment because we are seeing just these two innings from Rishabh and these 2 shots. But what he has done over the past couple of years or before the injury, he was your match winner. He has played some crucial innings at Oval in India and Gaba and Sydney as well. My point is in the second inning, first inning that thrashing of Rishabh Pant was spot on because the plan was set for him and he fell into trap, repeating the same stock. Once he was not able to connect another and second ball, same he tried to do that and he got out. But for the second innings, uh, we cannot only blame Rishabh Pant because for 100 balls he curbs his instincts. He didn't play his natural game. 30 runs of 100 balls is not Rishabh Pant. We know. ठीक है, he the only mistake, the only bad shot he played in that inning cost him his wicket. He could have ideally take it. I could have ideally scored over the cover. He wanted to lift it over the cover or had
Why
it a
we
ground shot.
scored? Because runs were not required. I think him blocking would have whatever. I think keeping it to
I'm
the
just saying
ground
because
would
that
have
was
been a
that
lot.
was a
But
long
like
hop.
you
He tried to
said,
go.
I heard this many times from others as well. Like you said, cannot blame just Rishabh Pant. blame the others. I absolutely agree. Blame KL Rahul. KL Rahul, I think, got a breach of a
No,
delivery. That's unplayable according to me.
I will not blame KL Rahul Rohit Sharma because they were out. They were out. They were in the
Absolutely.
dugout.
No, I'm
But what
saying,
others did?
no,
Nitish Kumar
absolutely
Reddy,
saying.
Ravindra Jadeja, what others did? We lost
No,
7 wickets in 10
that's what I'm
overs.
coming to you. I'm saying Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma are equally about to blame, but they went out. They are not looking good. Similarly, Ravindra Jadeja or Nitish Kumar Reddy. But a batter has played 100 deliveries and looking the ball like a football, and then they playing that kind of a knock. That is where I think is not acceptable.
Yeah, I agree up to that point, but he's not totally to be blamed because what I thought he was not taking some risk, putting some pressure on the Australian as well because the blockathon approach never won India test match, never drew India test match because you are not meant to blockathon. Blockathon means you are moving nowhere. The moment you lose couple of wickets, you are so much under pressure. That's what happened exactly
Correct.
in
But at
that
that
match as well.
moment, Paji, I'll take a different opinion. I'll go to Rohan as well. In the afternoon session, at that moment, do you think playing shots was the right opinion? Because you will never go on to chase that runs because it was out of your reach. You only had to draw the test match to have a chance of retaining and winning the Border Gavaskar Trophy at Sydney. Have more belief because I think people were saying the draw at Gabba with the 10th wicket partnership might just give us a lot of boost moving into MCG. We got hammered at MCG. But my thoughts is that similarly, just asking, just like our coach said the same thing, I'll add on to you as well. Maybe a Dhruv Jurel needs to be looked into now.
For Sydney, I think Jurel could be an option just to reprimand Pant and get him a bit more focused. But coming to a point that you raised, if you did play shots, I think the closing fielders would have been not there as much. So that would have opened up a little more time to get the other batsmen also in, and lesser time for the following batsmen to spend also. If you see, we just lost with about 13-14 overs to go. So if in case some shots would have happened, maybe another 5-6 over would have gone. So less time for the tail to hang in there. So all these factors also come in. So I think sometimes you
Absolutely.
need to be aware of what the match is happening, what kind of is it just before a drinks break or a lunch or a tea break. All these small things is where the momentum changes. If you play these kind of times right, your chances of succeeding will be better. So these things come from experience. Even Virat's dismissal in the second innings, so that gave that fillip to Australian team also saying, right, we got the 3 wickets, we can knock over things. Just that the lunch and tea, Jaiswal and Rishabh batted pretty well, that raised our hopes. Problem was not
Correct.
enough. So that's where everybody's role is equally important. You can't keep blaming only Pant, as you said. Everybody has to put their hands up. It's a test match cricket. One guy or one bowler can't win your match or a series.
Absolutely.
Everybody has to put their role, even if they're out of form or whatever. Try and make sure you can maximize your skill sets. You are great players. That's why you're into the national team, right? Show why you are there, man. Put some effort onto it. Don't do schoolboy errors and all those things. At least make the bowler get you out. You don't throw going fetching outside off stump or stuff. The same pull shots. Enough of it, man. 4 test matches have been. We don't want to see the repeat. Do something new. You want to get out hit wicket, I don't care, but please don't do poking outside off stump anymore.
Absolutely, that's something we cannot take anymore, to be honest. But like Gurpalji said, or even Rohan, you said, is Akash Deep really an unlucky bowler, Rohan, or is he still needs to get that 1% skill set right from probably Mohammad Shami in order to find those outside or inside edges?
Maybe he can do some puja and all here. So hopefully some turn luck turns. It's a new year. You never know when something can change. But he hasn't bowled badly. Let's be honest.
No,
Though Bumrah is the
absolutely
one
not.
who are picking wickets, Akashdeep has bowled equally well. If you see the stats, his
Absolutely.
beating the inside and outside edges is pretty much
I think
similar.
somewhat
Even
he's similar or a little bit more than Bumrah to an extent of beating the outside or inside edge.
yes, the thing is his seam position, everything. Something what we guys can learn, what England do pretty well is the wobble seam a little bit, which Siraj at times does it. If Akash can master that art, I'm pretty sure he'll get those LBWs or outside edges also, just like a Stuart Broad used to do. Nowadays, Chris Oakes kind of does it. If we can get something new into our bowling, I think that can help us. We are doing the same things over and over again. Luck is also the same. So if you start trying a little bit with your variations and stuff, things can change. It's up to you whether you want to get better and not. So you can't keep relying on just him. And he looked damn tired. We
Absolutely.
don't want to break him
Absolutely.
down. He's our national treasure, for God's sake. Please don't
No,
make
just
him
like Paji
do all
mentioned a
sorts.
little while ago, it was Bumrah versus head. At this moment, it
Yeah.
is Bumrah versus Australia, I would say. But you just now mentioned about Stuart Broad, Rohan, and straight away it went on to the Ashes, and which something is happening very, very frequently now. Is that something very funny? I'll go to shift on to Gurpal Paji once again because few of the commentators say it needs to be stopped, which is the bail swapping. I think that's now getting out of hand, to be honest.
I guess it's like what was superstitions thing is coming up now. The bail swapping is being done, so it's all part and parcel of it. That makes Test cricket and cricket watching fascinating. So I guess until it is going, it is being done with a good deed. Let it continue, because naturally it is happening. Because sometimes the bail swapping gets a wicket, sometimes the bail swapping gets hits the ball a four or for six as well. So I don't mind doing this, but yeah, you overdoing is just doesn't make get the
Absolutely,
interest.
because it was started by Siraj in this series, and now it has been taken by Mitchell Stark. And you're a bowler like Mitchell Stark, champion bowler Orko. He was holding his back numerous time in the second innings of the fourth test, and will be monitored for the second test. If not Stark, who is it? Because that would be a big blow. But I still expect him to be fit. If not, in case, who is the one you're looking to? Is it Michael Nesser?
Well, I think Stark would definitely try to play in this game because, but first and foremost, it's his home test because he's a boy who belongs to Sydney, so he would certainly not want to miss out on this opportunity. And given the kind of form he is, and even if you look at the second innings when he was bowling, people said that he was down with a niggle and he might, drop in pace, but he just got better and he was giving a lot of competition to a well-settled Jaiswal as well. Bowling some good bumpers and trying to york him in. He's off late started using that wobble seam a lot,
Correct.
like Rohan Bhaiya rightly pointed out. Stark has adapted his game off late, and even Justin Langer was talking about it in the commentary that he's just getting better with age, and his pace doesn't seem to go down even a bit. So I think Stark would definitely try to be fit. He will give his everything to be fit because he knows that the WTC final is also in the line. And most importantly, you can even talk about the ego which the Aussies often proudly possess. And given the fact that they haven't won the VGT for nearly 10 years, I think all of their key players would want to be available. But just in case he isn't, then I think Michael Nesser would obviously be a potent option. A good right arm pacer, someone who can bat pretty well, lower down the order,
Absolutely.
adds a similar kind of value like Stark. So I think he will be someone they'll look in, but I do believe that Stark would be available, keeping in mind that the game is happening in Sydney.
Absolutely. It's the venue, it's an home test for Mitchell Stark, so probably he will keep himself fit. And I mean, rightly mentioned about what Stark brings to the table. But Rohan, similarly for Australia, there's a little bit of concern in the middle order. If the fourth test would have been a draw or a win towards India, then was Mitchell Marsh in contention to be dropped? Because we were hearing since the third test or probably fourth test, B Webster potentially the replacement for Mitchell Marsh. Once again, a horrendous test match for Mitchell Marsh in the Boxing Day test. Or just because Australia won this fourth test, are they backing their big one?
I think I was just reading a stat. I think 8 innings, he has 7 single-digit scores. The same thing would have happened within India. I think there would be hue and cry. But that's what helps. If you're winning, all these things kind of get swept under the
Correct.
carpet. So maybe gives him one more chance to come good. Problem is he's an all-rounder. I think they're judging him as a batter. His bowling also isn't so much. He bowled a bit in the second innings, but there isn't much. I mean, he won't threaten me if he's bowling there. I'll say these some overs where I can score some runs. Jaiswal saw him the same way and was getting after him.
Correct.
So I think from Indian point of view, if he plays, thank you. It's a free wicket for us and some runs. So I don't mind it if Aussies continue with him. But knowing the Aussies, I think they will give him one more chance. They value him a lot
Just
in the
because of
dressing
the
room.
result on the fourth test?
Possibly that also, but as I said, within the leadership group, he's someone whom Pat Cummins or even previously David Warner, all these guys used to value a lot the kind of energy he brings within the dressing room and stuff. And also, more after this, it's a Sri Lanka series. Not sure if someone like him will be required there. So
Correct,
they do
correct.
know, like, let's give him one more chance. If it happens, happens, or else others are covering up pretty well for him.
100%. That's a very valid point, to be honest, when it comes to Mitchell Marsh. But Paji, now comes the big names for India, starting with Captain Rohit Sharma. If the rumors are true, is it really the last test for Captain Rohit? As a captain, probably as a player as well. And also, I would like to add, just like in the third test, we got a heartbreak. Another top player, not to take account that he's not performing the last few months, has been a World Cup captain as well, World Cup captain champion. Another player that is retiring out of home?
Definitely, I guess if whatever the result would be for this test match, if India wins and if India happens to qualify for WTC final, I guess Rohit will continue the captaincy till WTC final. And
Okay.
if India doesn't qualify, I guess he will hang his boots after the Champions Trophy, maybe retiring from
Okay.
both the formats
So,
after
so, you're,
Champions
so you're
Trophy.
saying after
If India
Champions
doesn't
Trophy
qualify
from
for WTC.
So you're saying after Champions Trophy from international cricket straight away?
Yeah, definitely. I guess because the new cycle will begin from England series, so India must look. If not captain, I don't think he will play as a he will happy to play as a player only. So I guess tough calls will be taken, and he must have been communicated by then after Champions Trophy to
Okay, so
get the
you're
plan.
saying Champions Trophy probably if India doesn't qualify, and that's also from international cricket. So all forms is cricket done. Only Mumbai Indians is left for Rohit Sharma, according to Gurpalji. Similarly, if I go to the other name, Rowe is done. What about Ko or Ko? Because you said a little bit about him earlier in the show, chasing balls outside the off stump time and time again. Being a hardcore Virat Kohli fan, he's no doubt a legend for India. But being a legend, I think some mistakes for so many years, same number of mistakes is not acceptable. I'm literally being tired of hearing the same line from Gopalji every single day in my WhatsApp. Sachin Tendulkar did not play that cover drive. Sachin Tendulkar did not play that cover drive. When will Virat Kohli learn that?
Well, it's sad, because when you put that kind of criticism to a player of that level, I mean, it's easy to mince words on Pant and, go berserk against him and criticize him to any extent. You can't really do the same about Kohli because of, the immense contribution he has had to the game. And also, if you look what he does on the field, the kind of inputs he gives to the bowlers as a captain, as a fielder, the intent and the aggression that he brings, which is very important to deal with the Aussies in their home turf. I think Kohli's value still lies a lot, even apart from being just a batter. But of course, we all want to see Kohli the batter do well, and I don't know when it will happen. I still believe that there's a lot of cricket left in him. So certainly not what the rumors say that he'll hang his boots or he'll leave one of the formats. He's very far from that. I'm pretty sure about it. But will he once again get back his mojo? I'm not really sure, but I would be very happy if that happens. And to start with, of course, he has to rectify these kind of overconfident moves. Trying to drive every ball that goes outside the off stump, or getting trapped by bowlers in that particular corner. So I think if he makes some amendments, I think he certainly can be the Kohli which we always loved.
Absolutely. If not in this test match, probably in the next cycle when we go to England. It's an away tour for India, but it's a home tour for Virat Kohli, as per Rohan. Yes, sir, Gurpalji, over to you.
I'm just saying it's not only he's getting giving catch caught behind to the keeper. If you see whether he's playing to left arm spinner or off spinner, he's getting trapped LPW or getting bowled or that thing also because he's not using his feet. He's not he's not playing those his onside drives which he used to use to wristy work with his wrist used to close that moving drive cover drive as well. Where he wants to play the cover drive, he don't play. He goes to the back foot against the spinner. And where he don't want to play a cover drive the fast bowler, he is changing the fourth and fifth sub line. So there, though you don't need any window analysis. As a you may give a ball to a debutant, Virat will give you a wicket. Left arm pacer needs to bowl a fifth stump line to him. He will edge and go back to the
That's
beginning.
exactly we are hearing this, or we are seeing this for so many years. It's becoming heartbreaking. But let's hope, as you rightly said, new year, maybe luck changes for Akashdeep. Rohan mentioned maybe something changes for the two big guns, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Let's really hope that, because they have been successful cricketers for Indian cricket. We'll see that. But moving on to the players to watch out for, Rohan. Starting with India, I have to go with Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and I've gone with Mohammad Siraj. For Australia, I've gone with Usman Khawaja, Steve Smith, and Nathan Lyon. Thoughts on India, please?
I think you missed the biggest name, man. I think Jasprit Bumrah is the one who has been carrying
Is
this
he
flag
really a
for
player
India.
to watch out for anymore?
From the Aussies' point of view, they're only watching him, is what I feel. Nobody else is bothering them. I just hope we can get two of them from both ends, man. But honestly, he's given his heart and soul to this team, all these four test matches. I just hope he gets some kind of support because you can't expect him to do everything. He was captaining, he was bowling, he even batted to save us that follow on. Give him a break, man. I think seriously, Jasprit Bumrah needs some support from everybody else. They had to chip in.
Indian fans
And
will
another
say
guy
give
who
him a
got
break after this test, I must say.
I think he'll take a break for a month for sure, man, before that England series or Champions Trophy, whatever. But Nitish Reddy, the guy really impressed a lot at MCG. Though batted a bit low down from where he does at domestic cricket, but I think he showed a lot of spunk. This team, these youngsters are the guys who are really doing that, giving a bit back to what the Aussies generally dish out. Be it a Jaiswal, Nitish Reddy, even Harshit Rana in that first game. I think these guys have to know that they are the future of Indian cricket, and I want Nitish Reddy to bat a bit more higher up the order because I don't think he's utilizing his full potential. Because bowling is still a work in progress. I feel needs to improve a lot more for Test cricket, but he has shown that signs that he's willing to do something for the team and has not given up so easily, which is what Test cricket is. Until you don't give up, nothing will help you out. He stayed in there, bided his time against some quality bowling when the Aussies were bowling a few bouncers at him. He showed that I'll take my time, then I'll show you who's the boss. I think that Pushpa kind of image did showcase in the end. So someone like Nitish Reddy, I'll definitely watch out for. For Australia, I think someone like Sam Constas. We saw a little glimpse of him against Bumrah to take that ramp shot in. I think he has that little bit of attitude where he wants to prove a few things and showcase his talents. But we know You can't get bigger than the game. You need to respect the game, be humble to succeed. He has all the quality shots. I feel it's just that the indicators that Indian bowlers, even in the warm up games, did showcase his weaknesses. If Bumrah does this natural ability, I think he can get him pretty easily. But he's someone to watch out for in the future. Uh, you're forgetting one more name. I think Steve Smith, 2 games in a row, didn't look at his best, still
Absolutely.
getting out hundreds.
And
Sydney will be the
it's
best
also
batting
Steve
team,
Smith's home test as well at
home
Sydney.
ground. So I think he has a very good record in the pink test as well. So Steve
Correct.
Smith will be another guy to watch out for.
Okay, so you have given, and I've got with the third being Nathan Lyon. I think Sydney for offering spin, I think he's going to be a very, very lethal as well. Moving on to the battles now, Orko will come out to here. And a lot of battles to be looked into, but I've picked out 3. Scott Boland versus off-stump challenger of Virat Kohli. Yashasvi Jaiswal versus Mitchell Stark. I think this is getting heated up as well. And Jasprit Bumrah versus Travis Head.
Definitely, I think these are the battles which will sum up the game, because I think if you look at the Stark versus Jaiswal thing, it's very much psychological apart from the cricketing point of view, because both of them are trying to prove a point to each other. So it's become pretty personal of late. The bails changing again certainly heated things up. And again, with the series on the line, it certainly becomes crucial for both of them to do well, especially Stark with the new ball for the Aussies, because they want to get back the Border Gavaskar trophy after nearly a decade. So I think that battle will be interesting. Head versus Bumrah again, because Head is that that Pant kind of flamboyant player who adds a lot of value, quick runs, and takes the game away from the opposition. And who is the best option to stop him? It's definitely Jasprit Bumrah. So again, a match-defining battle, as you would say. And I would even add Steve Smith versus Bumrah in that channel, because you do know that Steve Smith in Sydney in versus the pink ball is someone who becomes almost undefeatable. So certainly that will be a very key battle to watch out. And I do hope that the other bowlers also step in. So I think these will be certain interesting battles to watch out.
Absolutely, all 3 are mouth-watering battles, I must say. But moving on to now the predicted playing 11, Paji, starting with the Australian predicted playing 11. I think they are very settled throughout the series. They were settled apart from a couple of injuries. I'll go with Usman Khawaja and Sam Costa as the openers. Manas Labuschagne, Steve Smith, Travis Head, Mitchell Marsh, I'm backing him. Alex Carey, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, Nathan Lyon, and Scott Boland. Which is something which is working out so well. One spinner and probably Travis Head as your second. I think perfect. Yes, over to you, Paji.
I guess more or less same 11 until unless Travis Head was also having some niggle in the last Test match, but
No
he got
problem, Dad. He's
but
absolutely
he will
fit.
definitely play. He plays with the niggle and gets out for a duck and one. That will be good for us. We don't need him to bet for long. But I guess apart from Mitchell Stark, if Mitchell Stark has a niggle, then there's Michael Nasser, and I guess they will go in with Brewster in place of Mitchell Marsh.
Mitchell
Mitchell
Marsh.
Marsh is
Okay,
a
so you think
one change if I want to do change, because seeing the Sri Lankan tour as well, Sydney, the ground favors the spin. So try to get that person in, because you are leading 2-1. You're not trailing, or you're not because a draw will also solve the Aussies' purpose as well. If they win, then they qualify. If they draw, then also they qualify for the WTC finals. If they don't lose to Sri Lanka 2-0, that's the scenario. So I guess they can give a chance to Michael Bister for in place of Mitchell Marsh. Nothing
so?
else.
So you're saying Bew Webster in place of Mitchell Marsh is your only
Yeah.
change for Australia. No other changes. Now coming to the controversial playing 11, ladies and gentlemen. Like I always said in every single Test match, Indian playing 11. Here is my predicted playing 11. Rohit Sharma, no other option, but has to open once again at the top of the order alongside Yashasvi Jaiswal. KL Rahul at 3, Virat Kohli at 4, Washington Sundar according to me at number 5, Dhruv Jurel. I have him in my wicketkeeper batted at number 6. Ravindra Jadeja, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Siraj Bumrah, and Akashdeep Rohan. How many changes? Any changes in the batting lineup, batting order? Thoughts, please.
I'll add someone like Shuman Gill. It was unfortunate to miss out at MCG. I think for either Washi or Jaddu, only one can be there enough. All this
But do you
thoughts
want to
of
go with
single.
one spinner at this CG? There are many, many things to look into.
Thing is, all these are all-rounders, Pritham. They're not giving you much with the ball. That's the reason why the load is falling on Jassi. We don't want him. Let's have 4 bowlers. Let the batters. We are not getting enough runs. Let the batting kind of be with proper batters. All these half and half bits and pieces, it's not helping our cause. Yes, they may contribute here and there. Problem is, the top half of the batters, they are not contributing. And these guys have to come and bail us out. Let them not be there. Let these guys take some responsibility and just dig in, bat. Forget about the team score, situation, anything. If these guys can just bat, spend the 10-15 minutes initially, give those time to the bowlers. The rest, whatever time is there, will be these batters. That's how Sydney is. It's a proper natural batting wicket. It's not drop-ins or anything. So you can trust the bounce, especially for 3 days for sure. It's a batting beauty. You just have to spend time there. Yeah, later on may spin, but if we don't set up the test match for the first 3-4 days, 5th day spin will not be required at all for our guys. So all these things
That's
are
why I say that
hypothetical.
first innings is very important, like you
Yes.
said. So you're saying Shuman Gill for probably either of one of the all-rounder spinners.
Yeah.
Paji mentioned number 3. His signal number 3 is where Shuman Gill should bat, which means tinkering around KL Rahul's position once again. I'll hand
I
it
feel
over to
pity for him, man.
Orko.
A opener isn't there, you fit him in there. A keeper isn't there, you want him. A
He
mid-order isn't there.
sacrifices so
What
much.
is he, some kind of Mr. Fix-It, is
He
it?
sacrifices so much, and this series he has been the best batter, to be honest, in terms of technique. Orko, for you, before I move on to Gurpalji as well, for his opinion about the predicted playing 11. According to my 11, how many changes or what is your thought process?
Well, I think, like Rohan rightly said, I think Gill should make it to the 11. Of course, you can't, bench someone like Rohit because he's the captain and he would be available even if his form isn't doing the talking. I think Gill should make the playing 11 and maybe instead of a Jadeja, because as Rohan rightly summed up, we need specialist players. When your batting is struggling, you need a specialist batsman to, bail you out of that situation. So I think Gill at 3, again, once again, KL Rahul becomes, that sacrificial lamb who always, changes his position here and there. Once he bats at the opening, once he bats at 3, 4, 5, 6, you name it. And even after that, he receives a lot of criticism in spite of the kind of series he has just had. I mean,
Absolutely.
coming into this series, we know that he was literally burnt on social media. I use the word
Just
burnt
because of the
because that's
practice
exactly
match, that just because of the dismissal in the practice game.
Exactly. And also looking into the performances he did in the home turf. And I think if you look at Rahul's record, his away turf records are often pretty good. I won't say that they are very good, but they're pretty good. So I think when you have such kind of player, it's only fair to back him. And now the performances also have come. So certainly people can't question him. But yes, just as Gurpal Paji at the start rightly also said, it's a transition period. And I'm pretty sure that once the seniors, people like Rohit or someone else makes way, I think Rahul would get a cemented position. Who knows, maybe leadership as well, but we'll talk about it on a later day. But as of now, I think that Gill will make it for Jadeja and Rahul perhaps goes down to 4 or number 5.
Okay, Gill for Jadeja.
Pritham, one more change, maybe a Prasidh also for one of the paces, either Akash or Siraj
Akash,
also
yeah.
can.
It has to be Akashdeep. I don't think so. Siraj. I'm sick and tired because Siraj needs a break, but they're not doing that. So I think it has to be Akashdeep who sacrifices, to be honest. Now comes the big spotlight. The Border Gavaskar Trophy is on the line. 2-1 series lead Australia or Co. Is it 3-1, 2-1, 2-2? 3 results on the line. You have to be honest.
Well, I think we are badly battered, and as an Indian fan, it pains to say this, but I don't see us having a great chance in this test either. So if we save the test, get a draw out of it, it'll certainly do good for us psychologically and also keeping our minute WTC final hopes also alive. But I do believe that in Sydney, Australia are a different team, and especially with the pink test scenario also coming into play, they become very lethal, as the record always says. So I think that in Sydney it will be tough to beat them. But yes, we do have the kind of players who can perhaps give them a good fight. But that being said, I still believe Australia will make it 3-1.
3-1 Australia. That's the honest answer and absolutely respected. I'll add my point out to it as well there. Australia to hammer India, to me, according to me. 3-1. Rohan, for you.
As Arko said, every time a new test comes, a lot of hope comes with it. You do want to make it a 2-all and maybe hope Sri Lanka can pull a rabbit out of the hat and get us a WTC final. But at the end of the day, question comes, do we really deserve all this? Frank answer is no. So I think for that matter, for whatever planning and execution Australia has done, I think they're miles ahead of us, and all the internal factors that are affecting is making us go downhill. So some kind of miracle needs to happen, which I don't foresee currently. So I think Australia should beat easily and make it a 3-day test and give us 2 days off to early flight home.
Okay, he's saying less days, quick finish, 3-1 to Australia. Paji, anything different because you've always been for India?
Yeah, I've always been for India because 2024 has come to an end. It's a new year start, new year test match. 2025, lots of luck has to be come to India's way. If it is rains, then there's chances of draw. If it is a 5-day test match, I will still go with India because India has to fight back.
Okay,
India has to fight back.
India has to fight back. Understandable.
India will fight
I
back.
think
India will fight back because
India will
some
fight
twist
back.
has to be there. Some twist has to be there. We won't be giving that Border Gavaskar Trophy easily to the Australians.
Okay, from India has to fight back. The pendulum swung to India will fight back from Paji. I think in my comment section it'll be only Gurpal Paji that is supporting India. But you are the only person that is keeping our hopes alive. That now we three of us said Australia, Australia, Australia. You ending with India, like okay, probably we have 1% chance of maybe winning or drawing the Sydney test. Signing off, New Year's test is on the cards. Pink test. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Fifth Umpire, press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much and bye-bye.
Thank you.